what is the retirement age in the US? For the United States, obviously we hear different retirement ages. It could be like 62, it could be 67 for the full retirement age for Social Security. It could be 65. We hear all these different numbers. But what is it really? What is it for you? And is there a way to do it better? Could we even make that retirement age younger for you than what's the standard retirement age? Well, let's talk about that right now. All right, so we talked about the retirement age, and a lot of people have different ideas of what that is. For example, a lot of people think 62 is a retirement age. By the way, that is the average retirement age for the US. It's about 62 to 63 years old. That actually surprised me. I thought it was older, but some people are forced into retirement. Some people choose retirement. It really just depends. But 62 or so has been the average retirement age across the board. Now, that doesn't mean that somebody doesn't keep still working part-time. That also could mean that people are starting to take from Social Security, because at age 62, you can start to take some income from Social Security. But be aware, if you do, you might get just a fraction of what you could be getting later on. Now, if I had a crystal ball, I knew how long you're going to live, I could tell you which age would be the right age if you're using Social Security. But we don't, right? So there's different arguments and different ways for that, but that's not the really point of this video. The full retirement age for retirement for Social Security is actually age 66, right? That's when you can get full benefits. And so a lot of times people are about 66, 67, they might delay trying to take Social Security until that point. But the real question is for you is, what is your retirement age, or what do you want your retirement age to be? Because I'll tell you this, I mean, not everybody wants retirement. I've noticed from my own generation, even others, some people dream of retirement, and that was kind of true with the baby boomers and even older generations before then. But now people are more at the point that say, well, I don't know if I want to fully retire. I don't want to just feel like I'm useless. I'm just sitting on a front porch swing drinking lemonade all day. That seems boring. You know, even if you have your smartphone or your iPhone, it doesn't matter. If you're sitting on your front porch drinking lemonade on your iPhone, still, it's probably not the life you dreamed of having. And so more and more we're getting people saying, I just want to be in a place where I work because I want to, not because I have to. Either because one, I like my job, or I like my business that I'm running, and I can't see myself stopping, or two, I just got to do something with my time. I go crazy. Personally, I had that same experience. You know, when I first retired, quote unquote retired, when I was 28 years old, and I realized I didn't have to have a job anymore or do anything, the thing is, I was kind of confused, because once I kind of started taking time off, and I was doing a little bit of things on the side for part-time retirement income, so to speak, or extra income beyond my investment retirement income. You know, the thing is, as I was there, I was like, well, what am I going to do with my time? I feel so bored. I got to do something. And honestly, I was a horrible second mom in the house. When I was trying to be the mom along with my wife, it was a horrible combination. She's like, can you just get away, go find a hobby, do something, get out of my hair, let me deal with the kids. You do your thing as dad, but stay away. This is my turf, right? And so I had to try to find something for myself. And that's why I ended up coming back to this kind of place where I'm coaching and teaching people to do exactly this. Because let's be honest, even when I was trying to retire, people kept asking me, well, how'd you do it? How are you able to do it so young? How are you 28 years old and able to retire? Well, of course, naturally, they're going to keep asking me those questions, so I figured I might as well create a business out of it to help those people be able to do the same thing. And that's the thing you have to decide for yourself is, what do you see down the road? What do you want your life to look like? Most people think it's so far down the road, they never really think about it. And in fact, I've even seen from my own clients, when they realize they can actually get financial freedom faster, where they can actually get to the point where they're work optional. They work because they want to, not because they have to. Where they don't necessarily have to retire, but they don't have to keep working either. A lot of them get scared and actually subconsciously will even sabotage their results. They'll slow down their progress so that they don't get to that place so quickly, because they just are scared. They're like, I don't know what to do with my time if I was there. Some of them just do what I did. It's like, well, I'll keep on working, even if it's just part-time. And so I kept working and bringing in income, even though it was all gravy. And that's fine too, as long as you love it. If you don't love it, you might want to find something else. Maybe find some other passion project you can work on. Maybe you want to serve. Maybe you want to do something more than just that. But it really is about, what do you want to do with your life? What do you actually want to accomplish and do beyond just create comfort for you and your family? Is there something bigger? This is why we call our company Money Ripples, because it's that ripple effect. When you create financial freedom and prosperity for yourself, you have the greater ability and greater resource to bless the lives of those around you. What do you want to do with your time and your money? What do you want to do at that point? That could be a scary question to ask, but it's so essential, especially if you could get there faster. Would you? Would you want to be there faster? All right, so how do you get to that retirement age, whatever that might be, whatever you pick? You got to have the right planning, and you got to have the right vehicles to help you get there. For example, if you want to go to Europe, I can guarantee you, if you're in the United States and you want to get to Europe, you're not going to drive a car. Your car will only float for so long before you just sink to the bottom of the New York Harbor and you're dead, right? That won't work. You've got to have the right vehicle for the right things. So for example, if you want your retirement age to be after the age of, let's say 60 and above, right? If it's 60 or later, then the right vehicles, you could be using things like your 401ks, IRAs, Roth IRAs, things like that. Those are perfect vehicles because they have those 59.5 rules. You try to touch it before then, they slap you with a 10% penalty and then they tax you on top of it. So that works. But what if you want to retire sooner? So many people get so caught up that the only thing they can do is start saving money in their company 401ks. They don't realize it's the wrong vehicle for them if they want to be able to retire quicker. That is where you see a lot of issues happen with people. They're like, wait a minute, I want to retire at 50, but I've just threw in hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars into this 401k that won't let me touch it. What do I do? That's where this comes in. That's where we have to find the right vehicles. Now, we talk about different strategies like with infinite banking or whatever it might be, but that's not the one that gets you to retire faster, although they can help. But that's where we talk about like passive income investing and so forth. Just so you know, financial advisors do not want to teach you about investing in things outside of the stock market. Why? Because they are literally licensed to only sell you mutual funds, right? Or stocks and bonds, depending on what kind of license they hold. They are only licensed to sell you one particular type of thing. So if you say, well, I want to go invest and buy real estate property, guess how much money they make if you go buy real estate? Nothing. Just like a realtor, if you ask them, what should I buy? They're going to say real estate. You ask a financial advisor what they're going to buy, they're going to say, buy mutual funds, because that's how they each get paid. Beware of that self-interest, because that could be the thing that may not be in your best interest. This is why we separate ourselves from that kind of stuff. We don't try to get paid off of any investments or anything like that. We try to really be more of we have bias, obviously. We have opinions, because I have opinions, because I've done a lot of different things. I've been in the stock market. I've done mutual funds. I've learned how those things don't help people become free. I've done things with real estate and have become free personally, and I've helped other people do the same. So naturally, I look at passive real estate investments versus being an active real estate investor where you're having to have a part-time or full-time job doing that. You have to do passive stuff. So if you're trying to do it before the age of 60, then you might want to find investments like that where you create passive income now. And heck, even if you want to retire after 60, we have plenty of clients that end up hitting that goal after 60 because they might come to us in their 50s trying to retire in their 60s and they're not anywhere close because their financial advisor said, well, let's just hope you quadruple or quintuple your money in 10 years and then you might make it. And they're saying, yeah, right. Good luck with that. Let's hope and pray the market goes up even more than it normally does. It just, especially when it's already done that the last 16 years, right? So you got to be careful what you're trying to do when you try to plan. You got to make sure that the vehicle matches your destination that you're trying to get to. So this is how you try to figure out like where are the right places to invest. How do I get myself to retire when I want to retire? Or like I said, become work optional, where you work because you want to, not because you have to. You can still keep working. You still keep doing your business. I've had plenty of clients say, I want to keep doing what I'm doing, but I want to be able to have the time to take off maybe for a month or so. This also requires planning too, because what if you work in a job and you realize, wait a minute, even if I have the means to do so, I either have to quit or I have to do something else. So many of our clients, what they'll do is they'll plan to go into consulting work. They'll still do their same kind of work, but they'll go more into consulting or more as an independent contractor, where they might go work part-time and doing a project. That gives you a lot more freedom because then you can kind of pick your hours, especially if you have a business that won't let you be that, be where you could take off a month or two at a time. I'll tell you this though, if you can work remotely, that's another way to do it as well, especially if you don't have to work full time. If you have flexibility of hours, find ways to try to make your career work within that. I'll tell you, like, it's interesting as a business owner myself, is that I started out, really just when I retired the second time in 2016, I was really only working about 5 hours a week or so, maybe 10 hours at most. That was a busy week for me. But I did get bored. I noticed I got depressed when I only worked about 10 hours. For me, the sweet spot's 10 to 20 hours a week. Find out what that sweet spot is for you. Like, how much is it? Now, I'll tell you personally, now as I've grown my company more, I started noticing those hours creeping up on me. I started to work more and more hours, like 20, 30 plus hours a week. Well, that requires me then to start making some changes. How do I change? How do I make sure I hire people to do the tasks that are starting to fill up my time so I can get back to doing what I love, which is this, with you guys. Love you, right? I think that was a heart. There we go. That's almost it. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to do here, right? I'm just going to be more in the teacher role, owner of the company, but not necessarily be the one working inside my company. So in your own life too, and with your work situation, figure out what do you want to do with that? Do you want to work part-time? Do you want to go full-time? Do you want to have the ability to take off months at a time but still keep working? Or do you just want to stop working altogether? Then we've matched the vehicles for you. That's the one thing we do at Money Ripples as well. Like I said, we one-on-one consult clients, but we help them try to get to that financial independence number, so they are work optional, within usually about 5 or 10 years. Sometimes takes a little bit longer. Some of them even do it within a year or so. It's always varied depending on the situation, but that's basically what we do. Now, if you're trying to figure out, like, I want to retire younger than age 60, I want to find different options, heck, I want to know what I can do with this money to make money now, go to moneyripples.com. There's a passive income calculator you could try out. Fill it out completely and accurately as you can, because that will actually give you a pretty accurate number of how much passive income you could create in the next 12 months. So go try that at moneyripples.com now.